lost everybody.
And you are live, Commissioner.
All right, Bannock County Commissioners and Clerks budgeting session will be reconvened now. And we're grateful to have two new faces looking at us today. So if you will introduce yourself. Are we doing you first, Julie, or are you doing this separately?
first.
or-
Okay. Julie Hancock, Bannock County Elections Administrator, to do the budget. We just going line by line?
Yep.
What's necessary, so.
I kept our extra help the same, but our overtime I reduced by 500. We don't use it a lot. I'd like some to be in there just in case, but it's been going down every year. And then if we start in the 42,000, it's 110101111.
So on page 2, about halfway down.
We're there.
Okay, so office supplies the same, operating supplies the same, repairs and maintenance the same. Postage, I added 5,000 because we're going into a general, and we will definitely mail out, we'll have more mail outs. And then travel stayed the same, education stayed the same, our hotspots reduced by 200, since we only have 2 elections a year, and we're on that special pricing with Adam, which has helped a ton. Election supplies, reduced by 5,000. Precinct labor reduced by 10,000. Ballots reduced by 10,000. Primaries are exceptionally expensive when it comes to ballots. Elections expenses, that's something that we have to talk about, because we just realized that there's money coming out of that account that has been coming out for a while, and I haven't been accounting for that. And then you never really, I've been in the hole since 2021 in that particular line item. And it's stuff like, we had a voter trip and bang his head into a window and broke the window over at Westwood Mall, so we had to pay for that. Any rent or damage that happens at a polling place, we pay for that. Any fees from polling places come out of that line. And then the AIC.
The IAC lobbyist fees,
Yeah.
we pay for out of that
Because
line.
it's mostly elections. And then, like T-shirts, the state did, if we want to get uniform T-shirts for election night. And then we had, this year, we had an expense for one of our ballot on demands programming, had to pay for
You want to
reprogramming.
maybe put that like up to 7,000, but reduce another line by about 3, because bottom line, you've been okay, right?
Oh, yeah, I've never gone. In fact, I'd probably roll over another, like 60,000 this time.
We never know what the election's gonna be, so we kind of tend to over budget, but then,
How many your notes? Do we need 7, at least 7?
So it's at 4 now. You're saying
3.
put it up to 7 or give it 7 more?
well, it depends. So in 25, you only spent $6,700. But this
Okay.
year, you're at 75 already.
Yeah.
So we can look
This
at
came
it,
up yesterday.
we can look at it when we do the clerk's recommendation. and
Okay.
See if
Okay.
we need to take that one up. I mean, bottom line, you're good.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
it
We
would
were
just
thinking we
be-
needed at least 7, because that seems to be consistent over the past
Mm-hmm.
6 years. We've always spent almost 7. And then there's been several years when random things come up that pushes us over 10,000.
Right.
The 1 year presidential, it was 27,000,
I'll
but
just highlight it and then we'll just make sure to look at it.
And we had 2 elections last year in this budget and then 1 this year, so that kind of affected it also, but. So meals and mileage stayed the same. I reduced legal notices by 2,000 because primaries are expensive, sample ballot posting. Maintenance on our scanners, it stays the same. On our express vote stayed the same. And then license and maintenance on e-poll books and BOD, I upped 2,000. Oh, no, I added 2,000. So I actually, without that expenses, I've dropped the budget $20,200 for this one, so.
I wouldn't expect anything less from you. You do a great job, thank you.
Jason, is now an appropriate time to ask Christie to add the meals?
We'll just do it in the
her
clerk's
line?
recommendation, because that's some of the, there's just, there's some things that we're gonna start doing for our poll workers to make it a little nicer. Like we bought snacks for our training, just granola bars and trail mix and things, some small bottles of water. We're gonna put a line in the clerk's recommendation, so the money will be the same, but it will be a couple $100, for us to get things like that for
If
'em.
you don't have a donut or a cookie, it's not a snack. Trail mix, it can't be a snack.
Oh, well.
Some of those trainings get long, so they need at least
Yeah.
water.
Gotta
Keep
have
'em
some
awake.
sweet sugar.
Keep them awake.
Yeah, something like that. And we'll just label it for poll workers specifically, though.
Well, I think if we add it to that line, and just put include poll workers,
Okay, yeah.
that work?
Yeah, that works.
Got it.
Was that it for you?
Yeah. Do I stay? Do I go?
No questions here.
You might as well
Question
stay.
looks good.
It's fun.
If you have something really pressing, you're welcome to leave, but you're welcome to stay there, so it's your choice.
I might stick around for a minute.
Hold my
We
hand.
talked about, you're on the merry-go-round now.
Yep, you're on the
You don't-
merry-go-round right now.
You don't have to leave.
All right, am
Time
I
comes,
next
we'll
or you
kick you
go
off.
next, Christy? Okay. Carrie Povey, Chief Deputy Clerk. I'm here for the Recorder's Office. I'm gonna start at the hostess supplies. Christy and mine are kind of intermingled, but
Some of them
just
are.
be easier to go down.
Yeah.
Okay. So hostess supplies, I kept the same. Software support, I reduced. We implemented a new module to our software last year, and so we don't need that anymore, so I've reduced that by 5,000. Legal publications,
Legal publications is mine, that's just, our office has always published the budget, and, when the financials are done, we have to do a statement of net position per company, so that's what covers those. Postage meter, that's just for the postage machine that runs out of our office.
And has that stayed pretty steady? I mean,
Yeah.
we had one group say that postage was going up, so I just wondered.
Well, this is just the maintenance for that.
Just a-
When you actually look at the postage line items, that's where departments will out of there, put it into the postage machine, and then that's, every time they use a stamp, it reduces the amount that's sitting in the machine. So this is just for the maintenance of the machine.
Maintenance, okay.
Which you'll see farther down, and we're gonna ask for a new machine, but we'll get to that in a minute.
okay. Fuel, I kept the same. The next line, cell phone, iPad, it looks like we increased that $50.
That was just based on usage. Carrie and I both have an iPad, and just the usage is kind of, we undershot it because it went down to $40 a month instead of $80 a month. But we kind of cut it just a little bit too much. So,
Lease and office equipment, I kept the same. Archiving and storage, I kept the same. We're still trying to get our old microfilm images uploaded. Hopefully I can get that resolved, and then we can reduce that line item. Dues and membership, I kept the same. Property acquisitions, looks like I reduced that, I took that out. And then I'm gonna jump down, elected travel, I kept the same. Education, I kept the same. Chief deputy travel, I increased that $2,000. They do a Tyler training that the auditor's office and IT has attended for the last several years. I have contemplated going because there's so many systems that I use in all of our departments, and so I've contemplated going. It's not a requirement. Obviously, if we have to cut somewhere, that's probably an easy place to cut.
but it would allow her to see some of the benefits of her e-recording software and also
Like
Odyssey.
e-recording and then our
Odyssey.
Odyssey for courts and our jury management system, which we want to pull our hair out all the time.
And so
on.
going to those trainings, they have breakout sessions for each of the different softwares. So it might be beneficial because she can learn some things that she hasn't been taking advantage of, that she could. And if she's got issues with certain parts of the, like Odyssey.
Boards or
She
whatever.
could, go to the hub and talk to them and get things worked out, so it could be very beneficial if we can
I
get her there.
question that one, though. This past year, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
This,
I didn't go to the one in
No,
Vegas.
that's what I'm saying.
this one's in San
I'm pointing at
Yeah.
somebody else.
Me going to the one in Vegas and I couldn't make it work because I don't get the notifications that she does. So she has to remember when she gets them to remind me so I can try to schedule. And then education, I increased 1,000 again just for the Tyler conference if I am able to attend that because that is a pretty
It's an expensive training.
expensive registration. Yeah. Office supplies kept the same. Records destruction kept the same. Operating supplies, I increased that by 6,000. The clerk's budget pays for our on-base or Integra maintenance system that the assessor's office uses, court archives use, and us prosecutors used to, but they don't anymore. That agreement has gone up significantly, as you can imagine, software programs have. This year, obviously, I'm already over that this year because it increased so much this year and I didn't adjust accordingly for last year. So I increased that just to make sure that we covered that. And then that also will cover our Municode that you use for your ordinances, that planning and zoning use.
That's one that we're gonna.
And that's
try to-
gone up again,
We're
too.
gonna try to get rid of on base. We've been talking with Steve and Adam
You do
about,
something.
we have, all it is storage, and they don't do anything for it, but it's expensive.
And the fee ultimately has stayed the same from when our office actually utilized it for all of our recorded documents. They've just distributed the licenses elsewhere. And so there's gotta be something cheaper out there that we can do.
It's not a great program.
As of right now, we're stuck with it. The repair and maintenance for office equipment, I increased that $500. We have, 2 microfilm scanners that are older and both of those agreements increased this year. Postage, this is where Christy was talking about each individual office request postage. I did increase that $1,500. We've seen a huge jump with our passport applications. And so those are a lot more expensive because we send them priority mail so we can track them, which is required by passport services. Travel, I kept the same. Education, I kept the same. I think that's all for me. Yeah.
Christy Clauser, Comptroller, since I didn't introduce myself already.
Or any questions if you guys have any for me.
This time, thank you.
I do have a change in a budget. So what I've done, I've got 2 vacant positions. I've got the backup payroll and an accountant position that's, both are vacant. Through talking with Jason and Carrie, we've decided to consolidate those to one position. So what we're doing is, we adjusted the accountant position. We're gonna change that job title to accountant and payroll specialist so that they can do backup payroll, but also provide the accounting support that we need in the office to try to turn some work over to that person so that I can do a little bit less. We've already done 1 round of interviews. That didn't work out, so we just opened it back up. But that will reduce 1 staff and then combine that. So 1 position short. And then on the next page, if you go to the 110-011-12, or 0112, that's where our stuff, office starts. I left most line items about the same. We did increase operating supplies. Our office is in need of some new chairs. And there is a Tyler fix that we might try to pay for. Some of our struggles with our accounting software is that they went to pooled cash, and I was told that that was the only option we had. I've since found out that we can go back to fund cash, which would require a lot less journal entries, a lot less work on our side, and we'd have a little bit better transparency in numbers. So I'm trying to get a cost on how much that's gonna fix for them to go in, pull all the numbers since we've migrated, and get us a fix and start new with our cash and outstanding warrants. So that's increased a little bit for that as well. I increased repair and maintenance office equipment a little bit. I put for the postage machine, but it's more for our current printer or copier. And then I changed travel and education a little bit. Tyler Conference, if we send 4 people, because our office does pay for Adam. So I increased that a little bit. Next year, the training will be in San Antonio. The registration, we get 3 registrations, but have to pay for anybody beyond that. And currently, we send Alicia for payroll reasons, Caitlin, and myself. I didn't go last year and regretted it, so I think I need to go stay on top of that stuff. And then this year, I'm not going to GFOA, but next year I will. Education for auditing, that covers grants. That's where we pay for our PACE training, which gives us additional training with Tyler throughout the year that can actually be used for, I need to see if we can use it for e-recording or if it's just the accounting software. And then I reduced the certificate a little bit, only because I've only done the budget book. I'm hoping to get, or financials, I'm hoping to do the budget book, which we did get the certificate for 2024. 25's financials aren't done yet, so we'll see if we can do that one. Under capital, we are requesting a new postage machine. The one we have is at end of life. There's a lot of changing technology. It should last us 5 to 7 years. So I've got that request at $28,000.
So my question is, if we have a new machine, yet we've increased upon repairs and maintenance of new postage machine, so is some of it going into just regular repair? Or-
That was actually for our copier in our office. Scratch out
Okay.
that comment.
Okay, it just said new postage machine, so I thought.
The
okay,
line item for the postage machine is actually above,
Okay,
on page 1.
okay.
I also forgot to include, obviously, we're gonna ask for a step for our employees and any cost of living raise.
You can tell her about the insurance, if you want me to.
I missed that part of the conversation, but just so that it's out there, like everybody, I'm gonna ask for a raise.
Go ahead,
For the employees.
tell her. No, this is something that, once we get through with our budget, I'm gonna have Emma put out too. Let's talk about our benefit package and stuff. But our insurance is gonna go up 15%. I mean,
That's a lot.
and you look at that across the board, which is,
That's on top of the stop loss though, right?
Yeah.
Or is it included?
yeah, that's not including the stop loss.
They keep it down, but
But-
that's why we don't get the raises, yeah.
Right now, I mean, our insurance is, what,
Another $10 a month.
$1 million a
We're,
month?
we're at 9 million, overall. So
And so we'll be,
close to 10.
I mean, we're gonna end up 10 plus.
Countywide benefits package,
Insurance.
Just
Just insurance.
health insurance.
just health insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think our people need to know that, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I say, once we settled our budget and stuff and kind of have a pretty good idea, I want to send out to all our employees, this is your benefit package. Just, I mean,
And
I'm
it's
not sure where we're
increased.
gonna end up with our wages and stuff, but, and we may end up paying more for copay. I don't know. We're at that point right now, but as the leadership comes in, I think that they need to understand
Sure.
how hard we're really trying to
Yeah.
benefit our employees.
Yeah. And how much is it per hour if if you're making $10 an hour and you have a benefits package this size? To tack like $6 or $7 an hour onto? Is that where the math kind of comes into
The
play?
hard part of that is because we're self-insured, we pay actual claims. So to try and narrow it down to a per person, the
Yeah.
best we can do is what we budget by department.
I see.
And it's about $17,000 per person. And it
Okay.
doesn't matter how much you make, because it's kind of a set dollar amount. So probably the 17,000 would be the easiest way to put that. So if you divide that by 2,080 hours,
I I'm glad I stayed, because then I can pass that on.
And
to
that
other
17,000, that's where we're gonna increase by at least
Yeah.
15%.
So that's $8.27 an hour.
people. Oh,
If you
I
do,
think that would be good once the decision's made to put those numbers together that we can then give to staff because all they care about is the dollar amount, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and, sometimes we all say, well, it's in the benefits but if they could actually see it, that might help a
Yeah.
little
You know,
bit.
there's a lot of things that we're gonna have to look at. Number one, we could say, fine, we'll give everybody a raise, and then we're gonna take it right back
Take more
from
money,
you
exactly.
in a benefits package. I don't think many people realize that the benefits are not taxable. A pay raise is.
Yep.
So your net, when you get a pay raise, by the time the federal, depends on your tax bracket. But with a benefits package, it's non-taxable so far. So I think there's an educational thing that all of us need to be aware of, that, yeah, we could do a 3% COLA and then we're gonna turn around and take 4% back, or raise your copay 10% or whatever. So there's a net.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to do a better job, I think, of putting those numbers together and letting people understand so that they don't just think, oh, my word. I don't think anybody here is trying to run any help off, but we have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayer as well. Many of them aren't getting a COLA. So we have to be aware of those taxpayers. All the
And I
costs are
think-
going up with them too.
I think I was gonna say, if anybody has any insurance, they all know that it's going up. I know personally, my insurance has gone up significantly too, so anybody should be aware of that.
I think that employees over the last few years have been more open to the idea of, we have great benefits and we're thankful for those benefits. But to put a dollar amount on them and to hear that it costs, it's gonna be about $20,000 a year for your benefits when this raise is all said and done.
and we've never put that to paper, so
Right.
that is definitely something that maybe when we put out like the clerk's recommendation and send notices to the department heads, we'll include that and say, look, within the clerk's recommendation, this is what we had to do. And just so you can tell your employees, their health insurance went from 17,000 per person to
Whatever it ends
whatever
up
may
being.
be.
Well, the $8 an hour is,
And then
Yeah.
we can, yes,
That's a good-
divide it by,
yeah.
that's a great idea, is
Yeah,
we
I do
divide it by
I
the
think-
2,080 hours if you're full-time.
Yeah, and in addition to that, there are other ways, but I'm not sure anybody wants them. We could reduce the Percy. Or say, okay, would you rather have the health insurance or a reduced match? Or whatever, a retirement. I know you don't want it, but that.
No,
you
we can't
can't.
do it.
That's
But that's
statute.
what's interesting is, with Percy, and telling you, because I've been on Percy, the amount of money that the county puts in as a match that we put into that really does, you may not see the benefits today, but you will through the years. So it's almost like a school system. If you're a teacher, you may take less money for the life of your contract, but when you retire, they have some of the best benefits in the world. So I think we have to do an education there that with a retirement package, with our benefits package, and what we pay as a copay is small.
It is.
I've administered payroll before, and what we're paying as a copay is peanuts.
Yeah.
So the choice is,
we haven't talked to HR yet.
yeah,
They're not.
What's I
so that's our choices is,
Not bad.
everything's just right
School.
if we keep everything in balance. And so I think there's more numbers out there
Numbers on like.
that we all need to be aware of.
And I think people will understand numbers if you put it out there like that and you do a breakdown. This is what it is per employee. And so, yeah, we could give you this raise, but then we're gonna take it all back. And at the end of the day, how much are you actually making?
And your
Probably
tax-
less.
And your taxable
your
side
tax
of
on
that.
it, yeah.
We can
Yeah.
give pay, but that's taxable.
Yeah.
So the net, depending on your own individual tax bracket, you might be better off with no COLA and keep everything somewhat in balance. And I think that's gonna be the hard choice, that we're gonna have to look at everything and then do a better job of passing that information down and
Yeah, that
saying,
communication's huge.
yeah, the reason I didn't get a raise is because I have great benefits. When I go to my pharmacy, my coverage is still pretty good on my prescriptions. I think we forget about how good we have it. If you've ever been self-insured or had to have your own, your prescription package, we're really great. I just think we gotta do a better job of that.
Well, I think this will helps as well, help me to defend the decisions that come out too, by just being more educated on how all this works. Because a lot of us just think, oh, hey,
We got good benefits, but,
yeah, we just
We
cruise
need to
along.
do a better job of putting numbers to it.
Sure,
Because-
yeah.
I think
You know,
so.
15% may not sound like a lot, but when you put 15% on $10 million,
Uh-huh.
that makes a big difference off,
it does.
you know, what people probably think is maybe 5.
Sure, yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Any other information for us? Questions? Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Get off the merry-go-round.
We're swinging off right now.
Wait for somebody to catch their foot on it.
I gotta have more, roll over. Are we on recess?
Not yet. Would you like to recess for a minute?
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
because I've run retirement packages before. Okay, we are back in session, in our budgeting session with the commissioners and the clerks. And we welcome those representing the Historical Society. I think
Right.
that's what I have.
Correct.
So if you would state your names and we'll allow you to give us your pitch.
Okay, I'm Tom Eisenhower. I'm the financial director of the Historical Society in the Fort. And
I'm Jolene Barnett Stevens, and I am just a board member here for support.
Okay, are you related to President Eisenhower?
yeah, I am. His got changed. Mine's AUER on the end.
Oh, okay.
They were, we have a common grandfather, but he had 10 sons, back in, so we're not that close. So 64th cousin or something.
I see you've presented some information, if you'd like to go through
Yeah,
that
okay,
for us.
just so, you asked for some of this stuff last year, and I don't think we did a very good job explaining ourselves, but the attendance is about, it's about the same as it's always been, about 3,000, 3,500 a year. Student groups, we do about probably 20 or 30 tours a year. They're mostly right about this time of year. The sales are the $6 for an adult, 5 seniors, 4 kids, 3 kids, pretty much the same pricing structure as last year. The out-of-state visitors, that's just what's in the log. That's probably about 5 times greater than that. So we probably about have 600 or 700 out-of-state visitors and about probably 5 times that many out-of-country visitors. On the second page, it's pretty much, okay, we took a cut of about 24,000, I think, last year. We were able to absorb that because we did not replace our director. Okay, so, and we replaced her with volunteer labor by me, and I do all the finances now. I do all the bookwork and all that stuff. Not ideal, but that's the way it is. Our costs are pretty much straight lined. The only thing that I think I asked for about 3,000 extra for our budget for next year, and that's only to give, currently our archivist slash director is getting $17 an hour, and that person that does all the fort tours gets $12 an hour. They have not got a raise for 3 years. Okay? All of our other expenses are pretty much straight. Our sales and commissions, that 22,000 down there towards the bottom is about $3,000 or $4,000 extra because that is from memberships for the Historical Society that helps subsidize the place. Okay? During there was some question about what the city provides. It gets really kind of complicated because the fort and the museum are intertwined very, very heavily from May until September. People come to the fort and they also come to the museum at the same time. The rest of the year, it's pretty much just, when we shut the fort down, it becomes just the museum. So about more than 60% of our attendance comes when the fort is open, which is owned by the city. The museum is the county's. So it gets really confusing on who's responsible for who, but we commingle most of that summer help that we get is to give tours in the fort, even though we pay it out of the museum. So the fort's what generates most of the business, okay? And the city pays for all the utilities of the fort, which is only about $6,000 a year for electricity out there, and then they pay for all the water and lawn mowing, okay? The museum, which would be standalone in most counties, is, they're just intertwined. People are in the museum, we go out and give the tours at the fort, okay? Recently, if you saw in the paper, we had huge structural problems with the fort, which was about $38,000. At $38,000, we got a grant with Jerry Myers' help that paid for half of it.
Craig.
Craig Yodden gave us $10,000. And we got gifts from people around town, and the society made the difference, and we were able to pay for that with cash. Didn't bother the city or you guys. it's mostly a city thing. And then we replaced one of those buildings out there in the Pocatello Junction. We're gonna have to continue to do that, but that is, again, a city problem and our problem, not you guys's, okay? And we were able to replace totally rebuilt the the station out there internally. And next year, we're gonna have to replace the roof on the fort, and we're gonna in our budget, we have about $5,000 for repairs, and that's primarily to replace some of those buildings that are 60 years old that need to be fixed. So basically, we're at $70,000 with you guys' help. We get about 25,000 from gifts and memberships. And that's pretty much basically break even. And again, the only way, the 24,000 that we lost last year, the way we made that up was to not replace the director. Okay? Any questions? Arlen's here. Okay.
Yeah. I went to the old place. They're doing court or something. The elevator's just damn slow to get back down here.
Okay.
Then I had to go through a patch of lawyers and policemen to get down the hall. But I made it.
You made it.
Through the
So he's the
gauntlet.
director.
No,
Through the
that's-
gauntlet,
President.
onto the merry-go-round.
Doesn't have any handcuffs on, so he must have been
You
okay.
did well.
You made it through.
Yeah,
Okay. So anything you guys want to add?
I don't think so. That covers it.
Yeah.
It's pretty simplistic on the generating more traffic and it's kind of a specialized niche thing. Museums are museums. The fort is a great asset, and that no other county, maybe besides Boise, has anything like it. And we've been trying to, we could not even use the second floor in that one building because the balcony was falling off. So we fixed that. And we were able to have an opening with for the fort, for the Bannock, for the Fort Hall. And we had like 300 or 400 people there for that. I don't know if any of you guys were there. I wasn't there, but
I wasn't there. It sounded like a good turnout.
yeah. But we had about 300 or 400 for the fort opening. They're planning on having some stuff for the 250th anniversary of the nation. And that's key. We let our curator/director do that. Okay?
Almost everything out there was built to commemorate something. The fort was built to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the territory of Idaho. And then the small town was built for I think it was the 100th anniversary of the city. No, that was in it was the 100th anniversary of something else. 1882 to 1892 was the anniversary of the city.
Yeah.
But it was the anniversary of something. So they all commemorate something, and it's pretty much a showplace in Idaho as far as, and the fort replica is nationally known.
Okay.
Do you have
Well-
questions for us?
Well, I have some really concerns. Do you guys realize you're playing on the railroad tracks and the train's coming?
Yeah.
I mean, financially, I mean.
No, we were,
I
well,
mean,
that's,
your revenue is not even coming close to what your expenses, let alone your repairs. I mean, and I think that's typical of
That's-
museums.
yeah, that's just the way it is.
I met with a lot of the main players over at the Aslets, and they have some of the same concerns. They've got about 2 years to make some adjustments. And here we have the lava, we've talked about that in different circles, even with the auditorium district, that we're not doing a very good job of complementing each other.
And I talked to the Museum of Clean, because, let's face it, in a city our size, we are pretty, you got the county and city, we're chopped up, fragmented. So I'd love to have 5 nonprofits come in here and say, hey, we're all gonna work together, and here's our common budget. That's what I'd like to work towards.
I would really encourage some collaboration. And my understanding too is even ISU has opened up, they have a big museum up there.
Yep.
And they've even talked talked with Museum McLean about maybe that, they have some space there. They have 2 floors up there that they could, I have no idea, but your predicament is the same way as every museum around there. It's just not utilized, it's underfunded, you can only charge so much.
Yeah, we
So-
can as families. you
Yeah,
know,
so you either gotta charge more, or you're looking for contributions, you're on a Titanic. You
Well,
guys don't,
well,
I don't
and-
need to tell you that, you already see
Well,
that
and
with
and
your
if you looked
numbers.
at these numbers, the only way we were able to replace that, get the fort back open was because we got grants and
Right.
and gifts. So the only way we can, and that's and that is part of the problem that we have, is we have not replaced the roof on that fort, for example, for 60 years.
60.
Yeah, so that's a 60-year-old roof. You guys helped us replace the roof on the museum a couple of years ago, but we're only as strong as our next crisis. We get along operationally, but I'm an old banker, I understand. We have no reserve for anything that comes up that, if something burns down, we can't replace it.
Yeah, I mean, there's gotta be the longevity plan somewhere. I noticed, or maybe I didn't notice, do you get any contributions from the tribe?
No.
You know, it's interesting to me that that's celebrating, and the tribe used to be huge here. I mean, you've seen all the maps and everything else, and I think they tout that quite a bit. Where is the tribe's contribution? Have you approached them?
Well, to be honest, when we have them come to our thing, they are not, that fort is almost a reminder of what they lost. You know, it's like,
Well, no doubt. We
Yeah,
can't
and-
change history.
yeah, so that, it's not a big, they don't look at it as yeah, they look at it when the white man came, and that was the start of the end, and
That scab will always be there, but
yeah, and I don't know, I'm afraid to open that one. Like, I don't wanna, but when they give their talk, and we have invite them for the fort opening, and their dancers were there and everything else, they were really supportive, but they really, their history is not our history. You know, I mean, what makes them happy is not what makes us happy.
and just up the road, you've got the Oregon Trail over in,
Chesterfield, and
well, not just Chesterfield, but over in Bear Lake, Montpelier. Are we doing anything to link one to another and say, if you come to this one, here's someplace else you can be in?
yes, we
Pocatello?
do. There's a tremendous amount of, well, for example, we got all the BYU history professors last year, and it's all Oregon Trail. There's a whole club of Oregon Trail people, and that's what most of this out-of-state traffic is. And our website, we're getting lots and lots of hits on it. We have interns from ISU. Yes, that one we're doing really good at. We get a lot of, most of the traffic coming from
Okay.
out of state and out of country is from our website, and it is primarily the Oregon Trail nerds, pretty much history nerds like us. But I think that I would love, I'm speaking for Arlen, that we need to, as a city this size, a county this size, there is no way, you're totally correct. If the only possible solution is to combine resources.
Yeah.
You know,
Can we help you?
Nope.
So, I just think
Well, the
to keep
Museum of
going,
Clean-
to keep going the way we're going,
we're gonna have this
we're on
problem.
the Titanic.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years from now, we'll have the same problem.
Yeah,
And I talked to the city of Clean and with that same idea, and she was saying, hey, they've got their sunshine lawed into that trust going bye-bye in a few years.
2.
Yeah, and that goes back to the church or someplace, you know, so I'm like,
Well, I think it's still, the trust is still gonna be there, but they may have other choices to do
yeah,
with
and
that.
there's two empty floors on there.
Yes,
Yeah,
one's full of vacuums, and you can only see so many vacuums, and who cares?
well,
But, and that's.
I'm glad Don's back
And that's
here.
part of the problem with museums, is museums, how many times would you keep going back to the same place? Repeat, school kids, I think, are great, but I don't keep going back to the same places that I have been. There's too many other wonderful things. I think you're in a dilemma.
Well, the
And
only
so-
thing we can do, and we have, is to put on like presentations and continuing education stuff. That's the only way, that's the only way to do it.
And we do have events, and we rotate displays a lot. There are a lot of people that come back every year because their relatives come from out of town, and they bring them to see what the history was.
And without spending, I know the big museum in Idaho Falls, but boy, they put a lot of money
Yeah.
into that one. Yet we can't compete with them. But if we could catch some of the same people, the tourism that come through, that might see that, that might stop somewhere else along the
The
line.
hits on the, it's out of my league, but our intern was showing us all there's thousands of hits.
Right.
And, you know, we may, I don't know if we're doing a good enough job. I can answer that question.
Yeah,
But it is, we are a lot more attuned to the online stuff, and that's a younger generation, but we are getting lots and lots of hits, lots and lots of people looking at us. How that transmits into traffic, I can't tell you.
well, obviously the sales numbers are what they are.
Yeah, and,
You know, that is people who are actually putting boots into your place.
well, and I think the things like going back to your idea is the best thing we can do is to, okay, let's get with the zoo. Get with get with anything that's going on in Pocatello and say, we'll get you a discount if you come to, you know, you can go to the museum, go to the zoo, go to this. I think we can do a lot better job on that. So,
So
what do you think, Arlen?
So I just have a comment here. You said you're taking care of the books and auditing. Who's doing your audits and what's your checks and balance?
The check and balances, we've lost a lot of them because we lost our director, but Deaton will be audited next month.
Okay, you have an outside
We have an
auditor.
outside auditor.
I mean, we're giving monies.
No,
There's gotta be a check and balance. In my
opinion. No,
And I'm not questioning anybody's
I'm-
integrity, but
No, I'm retired. I'm not gonna I don't wanna go to jail at 73. Okay, I'm a volunteer. But we have checks and balances within who write checks and all the stuff that normal businesses do. But if I wanted to clean the till out and stuff like that, month after month, it would, like any business, it would be a problem for short term. But Deaton audits us we're a nonprofit. We'll be doing that in July, and I can get you guys a copy of that. Okay,
So what size of a board do you have? Are they active? How often do they meet?
yeah, once a month.
Once a month, we have a 9-member board.
9.
By the way, the museum in Idaho Falls started out as the Bonneville County Historical
Yes.
Society.
Yep.
And that was a library when I lived up there in the 50s, but then they got some money from somewhere.
Well, we won't get into that because I actually know that family. So I can tell you where some of that money come from.
Yeah.
And that's what,
And then they hooked up
it
with the
helps when
Masonic Hall and.
when you've got that kind of money behind it.
Yeah, like,
So-
we were able to fix that, like Hazel Cox, you know, Dr. Cox. She built that little town out there, much to our chagrin. But it's hard to make, it's not built that little town is not built for, that is, the headers on those windows are styrofoam. Okay, so that's why that train building cost $13,000 to fix, because that construction is not made for our winters. So, but
We're working to make it more relevant, though. I've researched pictures of the original buildings that they all represent, and there's gonna be a plaque by each one, and originally, they thought they'd just keep them open and let family reunions and bazaars and things use the space, but it didn't work that way. So we're now actually staging it, so pretty much somewhere between 1900 or 1895 and 1902 or 3, with the right stuff in them.
Okay.
And so, yeah,
So-
but the city did commit, we talked to them 2 weeks ago. They committed to fixing one of those buildings a year. Okay, so we talked to the Parks and Rec, and they are putting that, we're having put a proposal together right now, but they'll fix one of those toy buildings a year for the next, and they fixed the roofs, it's all stabilized, and that's been fixed, but the city has some skin in the game now, and And so we're gonna hold them to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
For a number of years, the town was just ignored, but when we got the agreement with the city where we would take over the management of the whole thing, they have certain responsibilities, as do we. And the society actually built that museum, but the county now owns it. I don't know if you know the history, but where the museum sits was city land. They had to cede that to the county so we could build the museum there. We had to deed the museum to the county for some reason, I don't know, but we own the contents. It's the strangest setup I've ever dealt with.
We found that out. That's why we are the ones that put the new roof on it. We didn't know it all the
Yeah.
ins and outs about it ourselves.
I mean, basically, the whole complex is an asset to the community, and as it gets better known, I mean, we have fourth grade classes from as far away as the other side of Twin Falls and further come every spring for their tours through, because I think they do Idaho history in the fourth grade. They used to do it in the eighth grade as well, but I don't think they do anymore.
So there's a bunch of kids out there, but.
So do you have any MOU between you guys and the city regarding whose property and all that, and their responsibility for this, your responsibility? I haven't seen anything like that. We just did an AI deal the other day to look at some agreements had to do with other county property. I'd be curious if you even know how this agreement that you mentioned you have with the city that does this, and they did it with the county. Do we have any kind of
Yeah,
documentation?
we have a contract with them.
But is it contract or something that,
Yeah, it's
with
a-
the city? Is there a contract with the county? Is there anything in writing with the county that says this is how we ended up with some property, what our responsibilities are? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm sure
I don't
there
know how
is.
all that happened when they built the museum, but we have it's not like a memorandum of understanding, but we have whatever they call it in the city, an agreement that they agree to do certain things and we agree to do certain things.
So my understanding is, it's not the county property. It's still the city property. It's the county's building
Correct.
and your materials inside the building. So that facility has three different owners in what's sitting there.
A land map I've seen of it has a draw around it where it says this is county land and this is city land. So
And
it's really weird.
Yeah,
My thoughts of when we had to put the roof on was that we didn't own the ground, we just owned the building. So I'm not positive.
They do mow it and water it.
The city does.
City
The
does.
city
Yeah.
does, yeah.
So that's, I'm not sure. It was quite a,
A surprise.
And they pay all the utilities on the fort in a small town. I don't know how it's divided up exactly, but
Yeah, the water controls to Ross Park are inside that fort. So,
it'd still be interesting to see what kind of, whether it was a handshake, a verbal agreement or whatever, how all of this,
Would that be in the county's archives?
don't know, I'm
Yeah, I'll
just,
find it.
Yeah.
I was gonna
I'm writing
say,
a note
'cause-
right now.
if we could just find that,
I
then,
mean, I can go down to the archive office downstairs and
Sean will help us.
Probably
Sean
ask.
used to work for
you
me.
know, if it's just a request, but I'm just curious. So I guess, bottom line, and I'm stealing Ernie's, Commissioner Moser's, what kind of dollars are you asking for?
73.
Okay.
We got 70 last year.
What if you only had part of that? That looks like a pretty bleak outcome.
Well, it got bleak when we went to 70, I'll tell you that. We cut way back on everything we could. I did that. But if it went to 50, we would not have a museum we would not have a museum. What it would become is, at the best, a summer operation.
So I do show that we're giving you 75 this year.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
so 7,
70.
okay. I got it wrong.
So that changes your numbers a little bit. You're actually about 5,000 ahead
Yeah.
Yeah.
rather than the.
And we use that for.
Probably the numbers I plugged into that spreadsheet.
And then I show
So-
your request is 78.
Oh, that should be, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank
That'd be
you.
great.
Yeah.
If we
Now,
get-
I don't know that that's what we'll be able to
No,
fund.
but it.
Right.
And
Right.
but my reasoning for that was to give those guys,
Yeah.
give those guys a $1 an hour raise. That's all that's doing.
Okay.
And they have no benefits. They have no, it is what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
I do have a question.
Sure.
You mentioned something about partnering with other activities, museums, or things in the area, which is great. I agree with that. And if we get them going to one area and then one museum, then, you know, the traffic would just follow to the others. Can the county help us with PR in that?
We can do that.
Can you help
We-
us put it on your website or help us somehow advertise it through the county's tourism?
We
That
keep
we
it-
are here and this is how you get to us?
We have a great gal that does just that, public
Okay.
information. But your relationship, and I think they mentioned it, say, fine, if you go to here, we'll give you a discount ticket to go to these other
Yeah.
2 or 3 places. I just think we need to do that with ISU, we need to do it with the Museum Clean
Correct.
with you. We have a historical building in Lava.
Same deal.
I
We
just would encourage some collaboration and come up with your board with their board or whatever it is, to see if we can do that. And if you can get us information, we could either, because it is in the county, it's a place to go see. I don't think we have those kind of issues, but get it to us, we'll see what we can do on it.
Okay.
Okay, and who is the name of the person and
Her
where?
name's Emma,
And where's her office?
right in where the commissioners are at, on
Okay.
101.
Oh, down the hall. Okay.
And she is networked with other people with the city
Perfect.
and everything else. That's what she does, so.
Okay.
Okay? Well, thank you for coming and spending your time with us.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for these numbers and your,
Yeah, that's, I know last year you asked for some, hopefully I answered more than we did last year.
well, if we're paying some taxpayer monies out, like
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
said,
Right.
we need to do our due diligence as well.
And when the audit's done, I think the audit will be done the 1st of August. I'll get you guys a copy.
It would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
And if we're off the record, Ken, can I ask you, are you,
Not off
Off the record.
can you, are you related to Una?
Yes, she's my aunt,
Okay,
was my aunt.
okay, because Millie, her sister, was my aunt,
Okay,
Millie Barnett.
okay.
And I know that there are a lot of relations, they're all related down there. So I
They're
thought,
the-
next time I saw you, I was gonna ask,
They're the Crumps.
Crumps, yes, Millie Crump, yes, that was my
And
aunt.
you're related, you're married to Pugsley.
Yes.
Okay. She went
I was
to.
gonna say, you can either talk about everybody or nobody, because I'm
Yeah,
related to
'cause-
everybody.
Yeah, because the Pugsley's, they're in, yeah.
Thank you for your
Thanks.
time.
Thank you.
You're up.
You guys need a break? You guys good? You guys want to?
Get on the merry-go-round.
We're just getting
Scott.
going, yeah. Oh, we got some momentum going.
I just want to jump into this fun stuff.
Looking for this one all day.
I have also been looking forward to this one all day. Actually, it's good.
All right, tell us who you are.
Scott Crowther. I am the event director.
I look here and then I look down here. Depends how long the conversation goes over there.
What page?
Page number.
58.
They
for
were
us.
reading it now.
All right, how about her?
Do you need to go into executive to start?
I don't think so. We can talk about our event center budget, right?
So we'll start with the event center and then run to
budget.
the BC events.
Yeah.
network.
So there's very little change. You guys know, well, historically, I don't come in here and request money for wages. I trust what you guys have to do. Although if you're asking, I always support increasing wages for our staff. But I never include that in my budget because I just trust what you guys do, and I know you guys do the best for us.
One question I do have for you on it, is should we increase your overtime a little bit so that your guys are not having to run as much comp? Because you are starting to get into situations and you're getting longer term employees that are gonna start accruing vacation.
I think we're still, to be honest with you, I think we're still good. Like if you want to, yes, I'll take any extra money you want to give me. But my guys, we really do do a good job of kind of killing some of their comp time as time goes on, and I monitor that pretty closely.
Would it make your life easier though if you had a little bit of money to work with without having to juggle schedules? I'm not
Sure.
trying to force it, but
I mean, that is a balance for us, right? And if we were more of a, like a year-round venue where we had a lot going on. If it was a heavy snow year, like we would run into some issues, but I think that as it sits, the guys that I worry the most about are actually in pretty decent shape. And I also know what they have kind of coming up for schedules for vacation and stuff in the fall, and so I think we're gonna be fine with those guys.
They have
And-
hunt. October's the month.
I know, I know,
They only used 6,700 last year.
Yeah, and most of that 6,700 came out of buyout that we had for, I think it was Riley when he went to the sheriff's office.
Okay.
We paid him down on his comp time. So,
I feel and I told you so coming in about 8 months.
from me?
Yeah. She's like, I tried to help you.
hey, like I said, I will not reject that money. I didn't request it, but I will not reject
I was just trying to
anything.
help make things easier
Yeah.
for you.
And like I said,
What amount are you thinking?
I don't know, I just think because you've got some people that are already up there, if we could pay some out like on these really heavy weeks.
as an
But
example, we had
again,
like.
if you wanna just manage it, I'm
Yeah.
just trying to make your life a little easier if we can.
So a couple things that I do, and as a matter of fact, I spoke with our supervisors just this morning about this, is like during high school rodeo, junior high rodeo, we just got done with that three-week stretch. Like I think we had a couple people hit 70 or 80 hours of comp time just in one pay period, right? They get really high. And so, but then we still are busy throughout the summer, but this is where we have to manage schedules, right? This is where we say take off Tuesday, Wednesday. Maybe you take off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, come in, work these weekend days. So we try to do more flex.
And your department is great about flexing
Yeah.
time as compared to some departments, so.
So I would prefer to like I would love any extra money. I have lots of asks for money, so
So don't put it there.
just prioritize it wherever you choose, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Most of the additional resources that I ask for come in one-time chunks, and we do a lot within our footprint. If I think that we're gonna have a little bit of money left over, I try to knock out some of those one-time projects, but there are some projects that are just big, that we have to address at some point in time. So the only real change to my budget this year is over the past several years, we've had $10,000 in there for leased vehicles. When we decided not to lease a tractor and buy a tractor this last year, it actually freed up that money. We don't know what our water situation is gonna look like, so I'm asking to roll that into water for right now to kind of keep us, to give us a little bit of room there, because we just don't know what that's gonna look like yet. We know it's gonna be more, we just don't know how much. So, and that's really the only change that I'm asking for. Obviously, there's some things that could change depending on, directions that we decide to go, as a whole. But I think that that's pretty much it for our budget for the event center side.
And the only thing, what about fuels? I mean, mowing, and everything,
Yeah, I mean, obviously our fuel over the last couple of years has kind of gone up and down. Like our vehicle maintenance line is exactly the same, right? That our vehicle maintenance has kind of gone up and down. And in some of those areas, we really do try to, use some of the money from like our building repair / maintenance line to cover some of those unexpected costs. So we might be higher in one of those areas, and then we just don't do as many projects in some of the other areas. My philosophy with our building maintenance fund is, it's not a lot compared to the size of the facility, right? When you look at how big our facility is, how many buildings we have, and how big projects are, as an example, just to, do the asphalt, it's a couple $100,000. My building maintenance line's like $20,000, somewhere in that area, between landscaping and repair and building maintenance. So we have to pick and choose what areas we spend money on, for sure. I typically do not like to spend money in the wintertime. I really kind of get to be a penny pincher. That way, a lot of projects, maybe we'll take on some paint projects that might cost us $5,000 or $6,000, but I don't like to spend a lot of money in the wintertime because getting our water up and running can be crazy and unexpected. And this year was no different. We just had more experience, and we had some people that were able to help us out, so we were able to get our water running pretty quick after we got the notice that we were able to use water again. So, and now we've bought a couple things like, we had to have different roping boxes for the pro rodeo, but all of the rodeos use them. And so we spend, $15,000 or $16,000 on those. And that eats a big chunk out of that, $100,000 budget. So to your question, Commissioner Moser, what we do is we really watch that. That's the only area that I have I have more control over is that facilities maintenance. And so if we're overspending in fuel or in vehicle maintenance, I maybe don't spend as much out of that line. We keep an eye on it. This year's gonna be probably as close as we've ever been, I'll be honest. I've always tried to come in under my budget. And my asks, I try to stay within my footprint. That's kind of my general rule of thumb.
Want to talk capital?
We can talk capital. That's where things are gonna get kind of fun.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, so there are some things that I did not throw on our capital. One of those is our roll-off truck, right? Because we rolled our roll-off truck this last year. We did get some insurance money for it. We do have some funds that were allocated to the venue through PILT. I think we had 500,000. It's down to like 350, somewhere like that in that area. And I know there was a conversation about maybe using that for the parking lot, whatever. But I have not got another roll-off truck. The landfill has done great at coming and helping. They've come and picked up our roll-offs. But we only have one roll-off truck in the county, which is like playing with fire. And the other thing is, I appreciate them and coming and doing that while they're helping us out, but our garbage is not going anywhere. So we need to have a better solution for that, and I think our solution just is getting a new roll-off truck. But those roll-off trucks are a little ways out and they're really expensive. So Road and Bridge has been looking at them. We've had anywhere from, $150,000 to $200,000 for a roll-off truck.
So what about dump trailers?
So we do have a dump trailer, but a dump trailer would not work anywhere near for the amount of garbage that we have.
Okay.
So we have to have the roll-off truck, but we do use our dump trailer. A couple examples, I heard you, Road and Bridge, talking about the dump trailer. I think a dump trailer, they're super, super handy. We use a dump truck if we can. So we take a lot of our manure and we move that with the dump truck. Sand going into arena dirt, going out of our arenas for rodeos. We do a lot of that stuff with a dump truck. I try to snag one of those for a couple weeks. Dump trailers for us are really handy for during concerts. We always park one back behind the venue and we will fill it up. We will fill it completely full just at one event. So, but we don't have the space to take a roll off over there. And we can't park it down in the bus parking, so we actually park it back behind the concession stand.
That's what I was kind of wondering
Yeah.
on dump trailer. I mean, you could buy 3 dump trailers and have them situated compared to
We run,
the truck. I'm just,
Roll-off truck they can take in one dump instead
Yeah.
of having to make 3 trips with a dump
I'm just-
trailer.
from a
evaluating
volume.
time and money.
Yeah, yeah.
From a volume standpoint, the dump trailer's probably maybe a fifth the size of the roll-off truck, maybe less. And we have 4 roll-offs on our property. So we have one at the RV park, one that we use that's in our yard, that every time we go around and collect garbage. So if you think about like a Saturday after flag, or after football, or after Friday Night Lights, Sunday after flag football, or after regular tackle football, soccer, like those garbages are just crazy. So that's something that I still think, I've really thought about different ways to maybe handle that. I still think that that's just the direction that we should go to, just to have a roll-off. And we have most of the equipment, we just need that one piece, so.
Has
But that's-
Bridge been successful in finding one?
Buddy's been great at it. We've test driven a couple of them, but the most promising was, we'd have to really retrofit it and do a lot of work with it. And so it just didn't work out. There was one that was in Las Vegas and I definitely volunteered to fly down there and drive back. But no, I haven't found anything that we have been serious about. And one of the reasons for that is because there's been conversation about using those resources other places. And so until we have the resources dedicated to the truck, I can't really.
Well, we do have about $46,000 in insurance money. So of that 150 to 200, we've got a portion of it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we got to put it on the list. I mean,
Well, do we put it on the list or get it this year?
well,
Because landfill's just gonna get busier, and I don't know if they're gonna continue to be able to.
Well, and the thing we run into, like last weekend during high school rodeo, we juggled through 5 water trucks. You know, I mean, we were on our way to Downey because, to pick up their water truck. I was on my way down to Downey to pick up their water truck, but ended up getting another one. Road and Bridge bailed us out on that one again. So, like, we do need some type of contingency. And in the past, they have used our roll-off truck, and we've used theirs. And so with just having the one in the county is a little bit nerve-wracking.
Well, I think if we we have the ability this year, we
need
utilize.
to make sure that we obligate the funds instead of it getting spent elsewhere.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be the discussion that needs.
We've already got the assets of the dump, what do you call them, the roll-offs?
The roll-offs, yes.
We already have those, which aren't cheap probably to have anyway. And to me, I think if, that should be a priority this year if we
Yeah.
can get one.
I mean, like during high school rodeo, they're used, I mean, during all of our big rodeos,
Yeah,
they're
and-
used like crazy, so.
And here again, the county's got, the Road and Bridge has already got their landfill. So I think if we could find one, I think I'm okay to see what we could do if it's Pilt or wherever we could find it to get a truck.
We've got 376 unobligated in Pilt that we could potentially use.
Is that the number one priority for you?
Well, that's, that money, the only reason I haven't gone there, I mean, I have to have that, right? Like, I really do believe that's
I
a
think that we need to have
must-have.
this discussion in a different meeting
Yeah.
than this one.
So let's set
To
that,
make a
maybe try and
commitment
get
on
on the
something like
agenda.
that, but
Yeah,
Because
but if the priority is to do it this year, then we won't add it to next year's budget.
yeah.
So we can just,
And we do know the parking lot, because the parking lot's not on here either. The parking lot is a big commitment, and it's a necessity as well, right? So you're just pinning competing interests against each other, so, anyway,
difference is the parking lot's 2 million.
yeah,
Okay.
so,
We don't have that this year, so if we can do the roll-off this year and then budget for the parking lot next year, that might be more realistic.
yeah.
go down through all of those
Okay,
items on.
I'll quickly go through those. So, my number one priority, aside from the roll-off truck, is the indoor arena. The indoor arena, when I got up there, I was told that it was, in serious need, but the reason we hadn't asked for it was because it was $1 million. When I looked into it and kind of dug in a little more, we found that it's closer to $350,000, which does make it a little bit more affordable, but we are several years overdue. When the guy came and gave me a bid last year to look at it, he said we might be able to survive one more season. When he came out this year, he said, I'm surprised you guys survived one more season. We're just pushing it. So this keeps the exoskeleton and just refabrics it. It's full fabric on the side. The only difference this one would be, rather than killing the fabric at the base, they would actually dig a trench and bury the fabric because of the winds that we have, so it would actually stop some of the tears we've gotten in the past. So it just would be a different way of installing it. So for the $350,000, we could get the arena skinned and possibly the garage doors, get new garage doors, because those garage doors are pretty out of sorts right now as well. So that's my number one request. As far as justification, you guys know that building gets used year-round. Our riding passes, we have venue rentals. The issue we run into is it's not heated, right, which we'll never be able to put heat in that. I did just upgrade the lighting system because you couldn't see in there. So we paid to have the lights redone with LED lights this year, so that we can continue to run rodeos in there. The next thing is bathroom stalls. So, you know that the in the wellness complex, the westmost bathroom stalls by the lake have not been open for a few years. And one of the reasons for that is because they've been vandalized to the point where they're inoperable. And we don't have the replacement pieces to fix them. I've looked into it, got bids a couple different times. It's really hard to find the equipment to do it, but just do that one, each bathroom's about $15,000. So, and that's going with more graffiti-proof, maybe a more solid stall door, more similar to the ones that you guys have here. A couple other changes is we pull the windows out, brick the windows over, focus on lights in there instead of having natural light. They just try to reduce, and eventually we'd have to go to something like more stainless toilets rather than the
Porcelain.
Porcelain, yes, because those porcelain, they just get broken, kids still throw fireworks in them and break them. So to redo all the stalls, that's for the, 3 restrooms in the wellness complex and the, 2 in the event center side. That does not include the, RV parks, would be about $100,000. A project that we experimented with this last year was we pulled out some of the highway seed that they had planted in the new RV park. It's never grown like grass. It's never looked like grass. We don't have the ability to water it. We've tried many different ways. So we pulled that out and we put in a decorative rock. It stood up really well against the RVs that parked on it this year and the traffic we had on it this year. People liked the way it looked. Now, it does come with some dust control issues that we could face, but at that point, when that complex, that park is completely free of grass, we could spray the whole thing with weed killer and then just throw down some mag chloride to try to help on the dust control in there. We spent about $10,000 to get 1/5 of it done, so we think it'd be about $40,000 to get the rest of it done. In concessions equipment, our concessions equipment's very old. When I first got here 6 years ago, we had signed a contract with a company and they brought in some concessions equipment. It was gas station food, right, is what they were selling, and so that's kind of the equipment we've bought. So if that's something we continue to do, our concessions equipment needs to be replaced, and that's about $50,000. The championship field, I believe we have a way that we could go in and tear out some of the substrate, reprofile and resod the championship field. The sod alone would be about $100,000. And there's 2 different ways to do it. There's a really expensive way, which is you redo the whole thing, tear out all the sprinklers. The easy way to do it is we turn on and water like crazy, and we take over some of our tractors that have rippers on them, we tear the grass out and we dig out the sand, put down some sod, try to save all the sprinklers we can, pack it with the dirt that we already have. We have native soil over there that we could use, and then sod on top of that. And I think we'd be able to get a pretty decent product out of that field. And if it worked on that field, I think that would be the model for eventually replacing some of our other fields, would be to go in leave the current sprinkling system in there. But what we have to do is we have to get down about 6 inches. And so we have tractors that are really good at ripping ground up. We take them over and we rip that ground up and then pull it out with a backhoe or something and fix that up. So that's a project that would be a pretty reasonable way to go in and test a theory that I don't think it's really much of a test. I think it would turn that field into something really beautiful. The parking lot resurfacing, we currently have our main parking lots and part of the trail being resurfaced right now. But this is for the event center side. So we have the road between the indoor arenas. We have the parking lot up by the grandstands. There's just a few areas up in there that really need to be resurfaced as well. And so that's to get those parking lots redone. And then complex fencing, over the years, we've had people that have hit our fences we've had 2 DUIs that have driven through the fences on the field. 1 intentional person drove through the fence on the field. For those little stretches of fence, it's pretty expensive to fix, and so we usually will have our guys go up and fix them to the best they can, but it's about time that we need some fence fixed. For the stretch, as an example, along Olympus, that 4-foot fence is about $40,000, just for that one stretch between the wellness complex and Chubbuck Road. And then my last request is just to continue to upgrade our rodeo arenas. Everything we do in our rodeo arenas, we just transfer. We have 4 arenas, so we take all the bull chutes out of the upper arena that we are running our pro rodeo in, and we move those down to the indoor, and we take those ones and we move those to the arena number 1, and we take the ones in arena number 1 and get rid of them. And so we do the same thing with most of our panels, any panels we could. To repanel an arena like the one we have with the cattle pens is about $250,000 right now. And so we just start a little bit at a time, and we maybe replace some chutes and then roll them down. So, we did run into this issue this year where, we have to set up so many horse stalls for high school rodeo, and we ran into a problem where we ran out of horse stalls with the panels we had, and to do 1 horse stall was $800 in panels. So, it can get kind of expensive. So. That is all the big dollar requests I have. I'm sure you guys have a lot more of those, but
Well, it's not a big dollar, but I think that we need to repaint the bleachers again
we do. We've talked about that today.
to maintain and to preserve that wood that
Yeah.
we just put down, so as we was up there, I
Something
think.
you can absorb, or do we need to add?
Yeah, we
that?
talked about that today. I just told my guys we'd have to take out of our maintenance budget, and that would be something we'd try to get done maybe in the fall. I think doing the springtime is the worst time for us to do that, so we'd try to do something like that in the fall.
I just didn't know if you wanted to add it. Okay. So the only thing on this list that needs added is that, potentially that parking lot.
Parking lot should be on there. Parking lot resurfacing is,
No, the
The new parking lot.
oh, okay.
yeah, that
Yeah.
north side,
Which again is just, is a discussion, I think, so.
yeah. And I know it's still a discussion, just to be on your radar.
I thought we at least talked like as a minimum, taking that fence out along that road and putting some better access in there as a
Yeah.
bare minimum. Seemed like that was our first priority, even if and with the discussions we have of maybe getting some cooperation, but I think just coming off of,
Dollars in there and we.
yeah, coming off of that road, we gotta have more access points
Yeah.
and,
And I know where we kind of get hung up on that is, it kind of starts with the engineering, right?
yeah.
So that's where I think we got stuck on that is we'd prefer to have it engineered. And then we could take that to, I think it's Pocatello City, we'd have to do the right of, or the, access points through those. And then the fences, you know, like I said, the fence is $40,000.
From that gonna cover that, all of that? From
The 40,000 would cover the fence. I think that to do the entrances would be a little bit more, and then it just depends on what the engineering would say we have to do as far as ground compaction. But
Okay.
And on that road, I thought it was, half of it was still Bannock County's. I don't know if we have to take it to the city of Pocatello.
yeah, I think that was a question that we've had. We've kind of talked a little bit about that.
I think Olympus, they took over the whole street, but I'm not sure on Venture Way that they took over the whole street.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we didn't put sidewalks, we didn't do anything else on that side.
Look at my road list and see. if
That
I
was,
can-
that was ours, and so that's why they wouldn't put sidewalks or anything on that side.
If that's the case, we can do it, access all what we want.
Yeah, so,
Do you want to, so we're like 5 minutes to 3. Do we want to try and do Bannock County events?
Yeah. Let's jump into part of that before we get into the fair discussion.
okay. This is our executive session portion, I would imagine, right?
She got it on here for an executive session for this portion, right?
Yes. It's right there.
So I think I just soon do it
So
right now, because
executive-
I don't know how long that next one's gonna take.
Make a motion that we go into executive session under 74-206 1E. Potential calling executive session to consider primary negotiation involvement.
Yep, that's correct.
Commissioner Bullock,
Yes.
Commissioner Moser,
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You are a backup, Commissioner.
You guys fair board next?
Yeah, are we done with Scott's?
You,
Yeah, I
I'll
think
just
so.
soon
They
him
wanted
hang
him
it.
to be
They
here.
Well,
want me,
he'd
they
have-
want me to be
I
part
didn't know
of it,
if
yeah.
Scott was done, because they didn't want to come in until Scott.
Yes,
was done.
yes.
Scott's
Yeah.
done.
Just because they're noisy.
It's all good.
Dan's here as well too, he got back, so.
And we can put some people up,
You want it?
whatever we need
Chuck
to
out
do.
there.
Each 44 for you guys, 45 for you.
Oh, thank you.
Everything that we
Yes,
asked for
Mr.
is in red.
Okay.
We'll have our clerk's recommendation done.
Yeah.
23rd?
Hey, how are you doing?
Hello, Jamie.
You realize I'm writing up financials as well.
It's gonna be pretty easy this year.
I'm gonna sit up here. so-
And then we can piece you out.
It will be okay.
One more time. Slide down that way.
Sit next to you, go ahead, you get more say.
I don't know. No, fair maintenance.
Welcome, Fair Board, and everyone else, so. Again, this is a County Commissioner Clerk Budget Meeting Hearing. We welcome the Fair Board. Again, bear in mind, this is being broadcast all over the world, so, well, wherever the world is. So try to keep our scope into what we're talking about here, just strictly budgeting. Whatever it is, we'll just remind everybody on that. So anyway, if you'll introduce yourselves for the record, and we'll turn it over to your presentation.
Okay. Delane Moser Evans, Bannock County Fair Board.
TJ Barnes, Bannock County Fair Board.
Jamie Pearson, Fair Board Coordinator.
Nikki Ennis, 4-H Extension Educator.
Zachary Dame, Fair Board.
Alex Hauser, Grounds Coordinator.
Okay. You want to start on fair maintenance?
What's that?
Yeah,
Yes.
fair maintenance. That's the first one.
44. 44.
You're a page behind. We didn't ask for any changes on fair maintenance at all. Other than, sorry, I forgot that we had to add capital on there. We don't know how long that the lawn mowing service is gonna be ran through Dan, so we did put a zero-turn lawnmower on here for the lawn around the exhibit building. And then, we'll have the discussion about, requesting a new barn in capital. Yes. I don't know if you wanna do that now, or you?
Yep. Well, we just will, tell us what your thoughts are.
Zach?
We're still kind of talking, we've talked previous years, we've been trying to manage our budget appropriately to replace some old barns that are on the fairgrounds and to put a larger building in its place. There's been some concerns about how old those buildings are, and also with the fair growing every year, we're hoping that we can work with some sponsors and then also with some approval with the budget to get a really nice building that would be a good place for the kids to be there, to have fair activities in, and to continue to see the fair grow.
What's the pro versus of having one big building versus just replacing all four of those barns with separate buildings? Just to keep your barns, by animal.
Well, so the pro for that is that all the livestock, a lot of fairs house all the animals under one building. So the pro is that they're all in one area and it's a little more contained. And on top of that, we were talking about having a show ring in there as well. So it's containment of animals and having everything centralized in one location. And easy to have that many animals in a larger building. So I don't know if you have anything to add.
We're running into some issues now with just the tent covered area. With so many competitions going on during fair time, there is limited time, and if it bunches it up, then the whole schedule's messed up. So another area to be able to exhibit these animals or other projects would be a benefit.
Definitely.
If I may on that as well, a couple things that
Tell us who you are.
I'm Scott Crowther. I'm back again. So we use a lot of panels to separate out our barns for different events, and it does help to segment out. It does make it a much more of a multi-purpose use venue, and you really have the opportunity to do a lot of things with a little bit bigger space. We do tend to like some of the barns they currently have, like the hog barn. It is a hog barn, right? And so the rest of the year it's a hog barn. But with something like this where it's a little bigger, where you could put stuff in, take it out, and it's multi-use, it allows us to use that for whatever event, that the fair scene needs it for at the time. Additionally, with the sponsorship piece, I'm a big fan of the county buying the building and then finding sponsorship to help pay that, because then we can sell that sponsorship year after year after year after year, right? So I think, again, the county finding, if we can find the funds to pay for that building, I think there is an opportunity, and then these guys have already spoken with some local businesses that would be interested in helping do the sponsorship, but us owning the building outright, being able to say how it's used is a huge key to that. So.
I also think just the utilization of space. So the current barns, on each side of them, there's an overhang, and they're too small for the horses or whatever that could go there now. So just overall, better utilization of what space we do have.
And our numbers have gone up. In 2021, we had 5 beef. This year, we have 34. So all of our numbers, horses just about stay the same. Every single one of the animals has increased.
Yeah, we're overflowing right now, is like swine, poultry, beef, everything. So just having that space and better utilization, like you were saying, there's those spaces in between the barns, we just can't do much and put animals there, so.
And those increases show up in all of our events as well. We're seeing more kids in high school rodeo, more kids in junior high rodeo, more kids in Idaho Junior Rodeo Association. I mean, it literally just rolls up, and this is still a big aspect in our area.
So Dan, I'm gonna request that you come on up with your title and your experience. I value your opinion also. You've been down there, you looked at the space that we have and what's going on. I mean, we've met down there and had discussions about these barns and buildings before. I value your opinion and your thoughts.
Well, I agree with some of the points they brought up. It has, the existing barns have a little lean-tos off the sides that are actually too small and not very useful, and they go down too low and create kind of a hazard, safety hazard. I think in between the barns could be a problem with drainage. They're really pretty close to each other. But they are past their lifespan. They are used up. We got our money's worth, I think. They need to go, in my opinion. We've done some supporting to try to hold them up, but it's definitely time for them to go. The decisions are tough to as far as what you're going to replace it with. That's the tough decisions you guys have, but I can definitely say that all 4 barns need to go.
So you put 400,000 in here. Is that an official type bid? Is that a guesstimation? What are we looking at here?
We actually worked with Dan per Ken's request, and then when we did this budget at our last meeting, Dan wasn't able to be there because there were some problems here. So we just put an amount in there to have the discussion. We knew that we had to, but we didn't have any estimates at that point because Dan was getting those for us.
Okay. You think this is a justifiable amount to replace like 4 of the old buildings? That's what it's for, right?
Yeah.
if you were to do 4 pole barns, I just, went off the going rate on a good pole barn builder that we've used before. And then it's the little things that come in after the fact that you don't think about, electrical and ventilation and the stalls that would go inside of it and getting water in there. And then there's always issues that come up, demolition, maybe you're digging and you run into something you're not thinking about. But to replace the 4 pole barns with 4 pole barns, I came up with $940,000. And then I priced, if it was one building, went off the same square footage price that we built the exhibit, so just a metal steel building. And then all the things that go with it, garage doors and man doors and the dirt and electrical and the stalls that are gonna go in it and the show ring, the plumbing, probably need a new service, electrical service, and then, the little things we're not thinking about that we're gonna run into. I came up with 1.8 million to replace that with one big building. But if I were to build it and I was asking you for the money, I would ask for 1.8 on the one single large building or 940 for 4 small buildings.
That's a big swallow. So I guess one of my questions of it is where you're asking for that, I know last year in visiting with the board, you let a lot of your reserves roll over in anticipation that maybe there would be. Christie, have you got any numbers of?
250,000 is what we're sitting in reserves for fair maintenance right now.
For
And that's
fair-
excess reserves that's got the 3 months of operations taken out.
Yeah, that is a net.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
so-
would wipe you out other than having 3 months of operations.
Okay, so if you're asking for 400, even if you get the 250 this year, that's not even halfway to one large building. And that's why when I talked with Dan, if you replaced each one of those barns individually, the first barn would be the most expensive because you're having to replace your electrical and everything else. And I asked him to do that, give me the cost of one barn and then what the additional one. And have you got that in front of you?
I don't.
It seemed like they were about, I think the first barn was like 350,000. And then each barn, the second, third, and fourth barn would be like 250,000. So it would actually be less money. So I guess that's part of what we had discussed is the one big barn is wonderful for some things, but that's a big bite. Yeah, we just want to make sure we make that decision. We did talk, and I think I talked to Delyn about that, and I think it's been reinforced with Jonathan. If we do go for a sponsorship, that is something the county has to negotiate with because it's a county building. So the county commissioners would have to engage with, I know it's a public meeting, but with any vendor out there that wanted to put naming rights on it. And I think I would agree with Scott that should be an annual thing rather than a long-term commitment. How much would somebody like that be willing to give? I don't know. I don't know whether your partner down there, how much money they would have. Has anybody had any initial discussions with them at all? I know they've been at the meeting down there going, well, we'd like to, but I haven't seen any commitment from them at all. Maybe you guys have, I don't know.
Could you put 2 of the small ones together to create your show ring? Would that be big enough with 2 of the small barns? So if you did,
It'd be
because
like
again,
50 by
we're just-
100, but I don't think so.
think so.
you don't think that'd be big enough?
So
I think
it's
if we're
either show
looking,
or,
yeah, but if we're looking into the future to build this as a fairgrounds for the future, like having that extra space in one big barn for all of the stuff that we're doing, the bucket calf program, the 4-H program, like looking into the future, if we want to keep growing our program and not having issues, a big barn is going to cover that. And I think if we just build small barns, we're going to run into the same issue over and over again where we're running out of space.
okay. And I guess we're still down to that financing part of that thing is, if we waited till we had all of that money in your budget, we're all gonna be old and gray by then. So it would be, the county would it would be an ask on the county to come up with a balance right now, because they would be county buildings. And my question would be, is there some other activity that you could foresee using that building that would help justify that kind of a building somewhere on that property down there? And I think that's the question that's staring us right in the face is, other than 2 weeks out of the year, can we justify $2 million to put there versus all of the other things that the county's got right now that we have expenditures coming at us all over? So I welcome that discussion is there other things that could be used besides just for that 2 weeks of the year? Do you think like there would be more activities that facility could be utilized?
I think so. I think you would actually see people, once we get that in place, that would want to come to be in a covered arena so that they could do those things all the way through the winter time when it's cold. I really do. I think that would happen. And are there grants out there? I know we can't do that, but are there grants out there that would be able to supplement that? I don't know.
I don't either. I mean, and I guess that's the decision we're having to look at is with your reserves, and even if you budgeted this in there, we're still gonna be way short. If our wish list is one big barn, and it would really look great, it would be wonderful and great, but we have to be able to justify, about 3 times that money. Even if we have a sponsor, we gotta jump.
I like a bigger facility.
Yeah.
We don't have the space there to, like Dan says, we're already have our restroom that's running the water off onto another building, and we're so close. To put it there and to look to the future, how are we gonna do it? You go up to the Eastern Idaho State Fair, they have the draft horses on one end, they have the sheep, and they have the goats, and, I mean, and they use it as a show ring. My concern is investing a lot of money on one end of the county when we got another facility on the other end and they start competing against each other. Ropings or whatever. I don't know if they could do that in this building. But
They can open there, can they?
That would be a concern for me.
So up in Blackfoot, a private businessman bought a personal covered arena, and he's turned it into a rented arena. And they are busy all the time because it's a true indoor arena, right? Like our indoor arena can't be heated, right? It's not great for some of the events that a lot of these people would like it for. A real indoor arena is going to get used. It's going to get used by people regionally. But does it get used enough to pay for it? I don't know. I'm just saying that like small communities can support a real indoor arena.
Well, there's an indoor arena that is in Ingham that used to do a lot, and now it doesn't do anything, where the Guthries are. The Solomons have an arena down there in McCammon. So I don't know, roping's a big deal, rodeo is a big deal. So, like Commissioner Bullock said, what can we use this arena for in the area?
I think it really boils down to like just what you want your ask to be, right? So if we want to change the asks to be for that one building, it's going to be the 1.5 million, right? 1.8 million. And that would just be your ask, and then you just enter kind of the washing machine of money that all departments enter, and if they can do it, they can do it. If you look for a way to maybe utilize some of your reserves in that and subsidize, you might be able to come out with a couple of buildings. Maybe if we could reimagine a way to use that. And so maybe your ask is to get the 400,000, but to go with, part of your reserves, and then to tackle some of the project today to make it better. But not by me, but just another way to answer it, right? Either way you're doing it, we're just asking these guys to consider in the grand scheme of everything else people are asking for. So that's what I would suggest, is those are really your two options, is probably the 1.8 or a phased approach.
And if 1.8 is not a clear span, like if you're gonna use it as an arena, then it's an extra 200,000
for the sprinklers,
for just not having a post in the middle.
No posts.
Yeah, no posts.
And if that's what you want it to do, is be completely open, there are higher costs for,
It'd be 2 million.
on that. kind of stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of thought being going in here, and here again, like every $1 million that we're being asked for right now, we have to sit and go weigh for the benefit of the county, the taxpayer, where it's gonna come from. So that's some of our dilemma. Some of them are emergencies that we have to spend money on, like a parking lot out here. By the way, we're not parking out there yet. But there's so many issues, and that's what we wanted you guys to be aware of, some of the things that we're asking. If you feel like the one big barn is the best way to go, then let's roll up our sleeves and see if we can make it happen, versus the 4 barns. That's why I just said, we gotta look at either the Cadillac or the Impala. Maybe we can only afford the Impala, depend on the usage. I worry about how much, some of you may know, what competition do we have in Malad or Preston or anybody else for this kind of a facility that could be used?
I don't think there was.
There isn't any.
I
I don't ever hear of any.
I don't
of them.
know, because I don't have anything to do with that. I don't think this would be big enough to rope in. I don't think it'd be anywhere close to, that you could team rope in.
Well, Malad and Preston come to our fair.
Yeah, they do.
That's,
And.
I've heard that from the commissioners down there.
And even Grace is starting to, I think, fade a little bit. I think we get a lot of people even.
District 8 rodeo, and then also a district out of northern Utah were considering traveling to our venue this year to hold their high school rodeos because they don't have suitable venues closer. I think that, I mean, there are folks that would use the venue.
But
I just don't know if it's enough to compensate for
Well,
what you're asking for, but there are definitely would be people that
And see, that's the question I have is if we've already got that venue here in Pocatello versus Downey, would it be better used for those kind of things, for roping and everything else? That we don't want to compete against us that we already have either.
I mean, for us, it's a scheduling issue, right? When we looked at, so we were, in the springtime, we run, in the indoor arena, we run District 4, District 8, and then we had District 13. All of them were trying to compete for the same weekends. And so we're literally like, in April, we're booking an outdoor arena so that we can try to get somebody up there. But, so I definitely think that there's people that would utilize it if it's there. Again, I just don't know the expense, but that's, I think it would get used.
Okay. So obviously, we still have more discussions on that, and maybe it is time to have a discussion with, possibly a sponsor, just to see if they have any interest in that. And I would maybe recommend that you approach, and maybe either as authorized by the commissioner, one of us to go and meet with them. We'll have to work that out, but it has to be negotiated by the commissioners themselves. So anyway.
So Scott put it to the 2 choices, basically, but you can't make a decision here as a board. So that's something that.
Right.
When's your next board meeting, so that you can discuss this, get it back to the clerks, so that whatever you want on this budget, we have the ability to have a conversation about.
When
That's
do you
where we're
guys
at right
finalize
now.
that? Our next meeting is July 8th.
Okay, perfect. Clerk's
Okay.
recommendation is July 23rd.
So then do I just resubmit it with a correction on it?
No, just email
Or
us,
just call ya?
email Jason and I,
Okay.
and just say
Just say
this
what
is.
Board
this is
approved
the
to change
direction
the
board wants
request
to go.
to, okay.
And maybe we need to have a discussion with possibly a sponsorship. That might give us better insight as well, too. If we do have some willing people out there that would put up some of that upfront money, but there again, if they're putting it up, it's only going to be an annual thing to the county. The county's still gonna have to pay for the building.
Does
The
that, if they do
sponsorship
that, like
would-
Scott said, does that make them part owner of the building?
No.
It's just a
We're not
donation to
signing
the building.
an extended contract with anybody.
And legally, we
Already
can't.
done that, and it's.
I think the decision would really have to be, can the county afford to build the building? And if they can, then you go out and get sponsorship based off of the building, and then you can sell that. And I would, I mean, if you looked at a multi-year deal, would be great, but then that's how I'd go and try to reclaim some of those revenues.
I don't know, has John expressed any more interest at all?
They are still
Okay.
interested.
So-
Yeah.
But as far
We
as
did present to them one time. We just went and met with them and told them our thoughts, but they didn't have the right people at the table to make a decision on the amount
But-
that they were willing to put up.
But ultimately, it's a decision of,
Right.
it's just county.
Right.
But it's, that information doesn't hurt. It
Right,
just
and that's
sounded-
when I asked
yeah.
you if you would go to the next meeting and Dan as well, so that he could
Yeah,
explain.
and we can decide that outside of this budget meeting, on that, so. Any more discussion on this particular, on the fair maintenance? Because I think we've got a couple more,
Yep, we need to do fair exhibit and then the actual fair,
okay,
week of the fair.
exhibit.
Exhibit, is it, the only thing that we requested was an increase, based on the 6-month expenditures for the internet. It's costing a little bit more. We did have a discussion with Dan out in the hall. It still is not stellar. We tell our people that come for events like the Idaho Association of Counties when they came, to make sure they bring their presentations on flash drives, because if it's a web-based, we can't get it going.
Is that sad?
So I don't know if Dan has the contact where we can, instead of being at the lower level, up the
Fiber.
speed of it, or however it works, whatever internet does. But we do, and so that might even go up a little bit more from that,
So,
because this is paying for the lowest level.
okay, so as soon as you guys know what you're gonna do with that service, let us know. So if we need to increase that, we can. Because this budget doesn't have a lot of room to.
Yeah, and how much cost would a higher speed be?
Right, I don't know, Dan dealt with them, so I don't,
Because it is terrible
It's terrible.
down there.
Nikki, actually, for last year, she had to actually use hotspot
she had to use her hotspot on
to
her
be able to
husband's.
even do any of those, and I know we also had to do that with open class.
I wonder if you can use the same service that we use for elections, for our e-poll books, and buy the Cradle points that Adam got us. They're really affordable, and they're fast.
We have several of those too.
Maybe that's what we need to look into instead of this fiber.
So I'll get with you on that.
Okay,
They're sweet, and especially if you're
something.
only gonna use them for here and there, you can turn it off, turn it on.
oh,
And
nice.
you get billed like $100 if you use it that month.
Oh, wow.
So it's pretty sweet.
That would be great, because
A lot better than
all, we don't have
186 for
events
nothing.
every single month.
Yeah.
But we don't wanna just do like a monthly for the month of August, because when we do have events, they wanna use it.
Yeah.
Like tomorrow is the Lacey's meetings down there.
D6,
Uh-huh.
well, district.
Yeah, D6, it's
Yeah,
the
that-
court assistant's
There's
office.
gotta be a better way of,
Court
it's
thing,
all
yeah.
wired.
But I told her she had to bring it on a flash drive also.
Okay, get us the dialogue you'll
Yeah,
have, and
I'll
Okay.
talk with you about
and if
that.
you
Okay.
tell him, he can put it in on the clerk's
Yeah,
recommendation.
Okay.
we'll figure it out.
That'll work great, thanks. And then will that make it, so we could get maybe like, are they like router extenders? Is that,
It's like the size of this, and you can take it with you in your pocket wherever you go.
so we could put one over in the 4-H
And
office
yeah,
so they
grab
could
a
use
couple.
it. 'cause
I
they
have
could
70 of
get
them,
on.
so,
Okay,
And
perfect,
in the conference room where we do the open class.
yeah, you just put it wherever you want.
perfect, I like it. And you guys have them?
Okay.
Yeah, we have some.
Perfect, okay,
Sounds
Something.
like a good plan.
okay. That's the only thing that we had on that one.
You have
No, it
one
isn't.
more, professional services, are we gonna? be
Oh,
doing
that's
that one?
out. We met with
Take that
legal,
out?
yeah.
Okay.
We met with legal and, we're not doing that.
And then the
Did you see
4%
that?
COLA,
Huh?
4% COLA.
And then bring it.
Yeah, yeah, if that's what you guys decide to do as a county.
We'll figure it out.
To be determined,
Yeah.
You wanna do the health insurance spiel real quick?
interesting year.
You wanna do the health insurance spiel real quick?
Yeah,
All
this-
departments are getting a health insurance spiel.
Our health insurance went up 15%. So Bannock County will, on top of the 9 million we pay now, will pay another million plus this coming year. So as everybody's looking at COLAs and everything else, our benefit package includes that health insurance. And so just so I want every department to know that it's a big jump for us this year.
It's good to note it, and
Yeah.
we'll have to see what we can do on that, so. Okay,
So the next page should be county fair.
okay.
Yep. So we're just asking for a small increase for entertainment costs, and Scott can attest to this. It's going up like crazy. So we put $5,000 on the actual entertainment line, but then we also added another $5,000 down on the rodeo line to offset the rodeo costs. The other thing that we asked for was an increase in prizes. We didn't realize, and Zach can talk about that. We're doing a lot of prizes for that kids rodeo, which is great. It's gonna be, well, talk about your event.
You guys attended the Kid Ranch Rodeo last year, right? So total was 220 kids showing out, and that's the first year. And we're anticipating probably upwards of 300 this year, I'd imagine. It's spreading like wildfire. There's gonna be 30 chickens to catch this year. There's gonna be 9 pigs to catch, and 5 goats and 5 calves, okay? And so all of these are prizes. And so instead of a ribbon, instead of a big trophy they're taking home, we are pushing kids into agriculture. Because all of a sudden, if they catch a chicken, the parents are all of a sudden scrambling, how do you take care of the dang chicken, okay? And so these prizes are costing a lot. We've gone out and we've gotten sponsors. And we're sitting around $11,000 in sponsors for this event. And 9,000, just over 9,000 of it went to calves. Now, you see how big of a deal that is. I don't know if you've ever been down to the Houston stock show in Texas. But every year they have 30 participants, usually the FFA age range. And they have 15 calves that they release. They go and they catch these calves, put a halter on them, and drag them into a circle. And once they do that, they win a calf or a steer or a heifer. And we are doing that on a smaller level. So we're gonna have 5 calves, and so there's gonna be kids that are gonna be walking home with either a steer or a heifer this year. And we think it's great. The kids are excited. I was talking with Alex. Alex says he was visiting a guy the other day, and there was this huge pig out in the pasture. And he said, well, that pig looks like it's about ready to slaughter. And the dad says, oh, no, we can't slaughter that. That is my daughter's prize pig that she won at the fair last year. And they said that she caught it. And so this thing is catching off like wildfire. And anyway, for this to continue, that's why we're adding the prize money, because those animals are prizes. And so for it to be something that can be stable even after I'm long gone, we have that money there where prizes can be given, kids get into agriculture, and we're starting from the ground up.
Taking a steer home in a 2-bedroom apartment is pretty tough.
I'd be excited, but the parents.
That was my favorite part of the fair last year.
pretty cute.
I loved it. I ate way too many corn dogs that night.
Luckily, yeah, Tara
See
ended
one of
up
them little
with one.
steers getting shoved into the back of a minivan on the way
Well,
home.
it may be a little wild. The rodeo may continue. But even if they can't keep the calf, the prices of calves is just astronomical, as we all know, And so that's a big investment, whether they want to take that money and put it into something else that they enjoy, school, things like that. It's all going to be beneficial for these kids to have them have a jump start. So.
Tents for animals.
Okay, so that's the last thing that we asked for an increase of. That's in anticipation that we don't have a new barn or something to house. What were we talking about, putting rabbits and chickens in it?
Chicken, yeah.
So that we could rent a bigger tent with the sides so that we can hopefully keep the wind from blowing the tent away. And you're gonna talk about how many chickens and rabbits you have?
Yeah, we have, so I think we have like 100 cages in maybe a little less than that, and we probably have like close to 150, 170 chickens and rabbits that are coming, so we definitely need more space. We
Right
just
now,
don't have
they're
any
housed
space right
in
now.
the old shop,
Mhm.
is where we put the chickens and rabbits.
Yeah,
So my question, this budget is for next year.
Right, but we
What are you
didn't know
gonna do for this year?
if we
Do
don't
what I'm saying is, do we need to
cross our
purchase,
fingers, yeah.
we need to purchase some tents
We talked about
out
those,
of
those are
this
expensive.
year's budget that could not only be used this year, but also next year? I've just thrown that out.
Not fun to put up. They're easier
We
to
did
rent
talk about,
than
yeah,
they
we
are
talked
to
about that, cause
Or we could rent them, I mean.
we spend about $20,000 a year on tents rental for what we have now. That's for like over the picnic tables and, where we do the potato bar
What
and
they do
that.
is get a concessionaire that does chicken and rabbit.
Well, Nikki actually has,
Well, I think
Yeah,
we're
Nikki
gonna
has an
reach
idea.
out to the National Guard and see if they have a tent.
That we can use this year.
This year, and, so
We
we've got,
have used a tent from them a few times out at the Field of Heroes.
Yeah.
so we're gonna see if that'll.
But they're spendy to buy.
work
I
this
bet
year.
the size we would need is probably, what, $35,000?
You don't buy them, you rent them. Somebody else
Because
puts them up.
it's, somebody puts them up and takes them down. That's the thing,
And
yeah.
then when that wind
And
hits
store
them, you
'em.
don't have to pay.
This-
And then when the wind hits them and they're all twisted, that's
They're
theirs.
responsible. All right.
And that's all we have on those.
Okay. So, anyway, I guess everybody got a path forward. You can work with Jason on
Yeah,
your,
on the internet.
on the internet, and we'll figure out some of the issues we got, and move forward that way, so.
Okay.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
Thank you.
Do I need to work with Dan on the internet? Because we'll have to cancel direct communications,
Talk
correct?
talk to Jason. I mean,
Jason on
I'll
the-
get with
on that,
Adam
and
about
then-
it and see if he
Okay.
thinks it would work
Down there,
logistically.
okay.
It will, I'm sure, and then he'll get you some cost breakdowns, but I'll get that for you.
So,
Okay, awesome.
So my question of it is, do you want to wait till next year to get a riding lawn, or get a mower, or should we get that this year?
I don't know, are you?
Whole
are the-
summer.
Is the lawn service going through this year?
Okay.
So,
Ask that, just to see whether we needed to get one this year, and, or whether you've already got the lawn service already taken care of.
I just told them to keep mowing until we
Okay.
figure something out.
I think it's one of them deals that we look and see what the prices are as fall comes in before we go into next year's budget. And if you have it in your account for, that
Let's
we
do
can
it this
pull it
year.
out this year.
September.
Then
we
we,
get a really good deal on a couple lawnmowers at the end of last year.
Yeah, we worked with Road and Bridge, and they went and did all the running down for us to tell us the best mowers to work on. So we got some Spartan mowers, they're pretty fantastic.
So just keep that in mind, that even in August or September, if a good deal comes along, we could maybe put that into this year's budget. Get it,
September.
They will need to come before the board to get that.
right,
Funds
for the
reallocated, right?
author,
Okay.
That's easy to do.
yeah.
It's just a meeting.
Just, if you see something, or if we see something, or whatever, just bear in that mind that might be better off to give, if we get a good deal, to get through this year. We'd need some sort of idea, an invoice, or,
talk to Kyle, and Kyle could have his guy.
Get the same
He's
kind that
found it
Scott
for
has, so
Scott,
that,
so.
okay. Okay, I can call Kyle.
okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Looked it up. There wasn't much conversation over there. 20, Ken?
Oh, she probably does, if she's anything like me. Perfect, thank you.
Last but not least,
Dan, thanks for last minute coming. Appreciate the information.
good you was here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you was doing something that was,
I was in Downey.
but
I was fine. It worked out good.
this dialogue needs to stay open to make sure we're doing the right things.
Yeah, that internet, we need to take IT down there. We paid a lot of money to get that fiber run to that building. We need to make it work.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it's too soon to start putting a Band-Aid on it if it's just some settings or something in there.
Yeah, I can fix it over, but
They have fiber run to the building
they
already.
spent a ton of money to get fiber there, and then it runs into the building, and then they put antennas all over the fairgrounds, plus 2 Wi-Fi antennas in the building. But we
Should
might need to
work.
open up the fiber a little more and then figure out, make sure everyone's logging on to the right Wi-Fi. So there's levels, like a public one is slow, the next one for employees is fast, and then there's another level for like it's secure and runs to the courthouse. I think we have some user issues going on, but
I
as
see.
much as we paid for it, it needs to work.
Okay.
Yeah, but to supplement, I would love for them to have something that they can take around the fairgrounds because
We're still up.
they're all over the place.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Every time we go there, it works, and then then they have an event, and then we hear it doesn't work, and I'm like, what is the deal? I don't know, but
Sounds good.
How much money as we put in, was it $20,000-$30,000, wasn't it, to wire that?
yeah. I mean, I think we got fiber run to Downey, basically.
Yeah.
They didn't have it, they ran it all the way down Main Street to the building, so.
Yeah, it's gotta
It's
work better.
frustrating. Drives me crazy.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, thanks for resetting your thermometer the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I think we have like a damper issue. The marshals lower theirs and it freezes you out, so
Oh.
that's what I figured out.
It
So,
was cold.
so they're over there sweating, but that's okay.
That's all right.
We'll get it
Be out
fixed.
and about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Matthew, you're up if you want to introduce yourself. And
Matthew Phillips, HR and Risk Director.
We start with the HR budget.
Okay, I was gonna start with the risk, or the insurance, but we can
what
start with
number are we
the
on?
HR.
Page
20.
21. Sorry, we go numerical.
What's that?
We go numerical by department. in
Okay,
fact.
that's fine. So a few, have some adjustments in here, some requests up, some down. Requesting a grade reclassification on the HR professional in my department. If that would actually be cheaper than a step adjustment this year. Requesting that just due to, I believe that position does a lot more work akin to a generalist than a specialist. Have a few minor annual increases on software subscriptions, decreased postage and travel, minor increase in education just due to some of our, we recertify in different certifications every year. And just our plans for that increased by $100. Decreasing training some, I think I want to focus more our leadership training on just our new leaders and not so many general ones. The rate or the amounts for flex spending are increasing due to a rate increase partly, and also we were considering potential changes last year but didn't make those. Decreasing the wellness program, just a minor amount. As far as capital, we have talked in the past about doing a slight remodel on a training room and creating a records room. I don't know if that's still in the plan. I know there's a lot of discussions about different parts of this complex and the old jail. But I just put that in there.
Jason
based-
didn't tell you that we talked coroner and that's gonna be the coroner's office?
Oh,
Don't
don't tell me
joke.
that. Tell Tori that. Don't tell me that.
Oh, he'll be doing busy.
But yes, some people have always often said that HR is soulless and heartless, so I guess maybe we'll be in good company with the morgue, I don't know. So really the net difference between all those changes, also had some decreases slight decrease in deductible amounts of 5,000 total overall. So the total net difference between this year's and last year's is 1,271 between all the ups and downs and adjustments.
Thank you.
Liability insurance is on 62.
62.
So I wish I had good news and could tell you that inflation doesn't affect insurance, but it definitely does. One minor thing, notice, I've been out for a little bit, but right before I left, Christy, you may have seen this. I think the Percy rates for July 1st is supposed to go down for public safety. Did you see that?
Well, they're not going to go up.
Yeah,
They had a scheduled increase July 1 and they chose not to change them, if I remember correctly.
right. So that is somewhat of a cost savings to the county. I know this isn't mentioned specifically, but I just thought I'd mention it, that I think our work comp EMOD, even though I haven't got that renewal yet, I think it will go up.
Yeah.
Because we had a couple really good years, and the way those are rated is they take your last 3 years and average them. And so we're gonna have a good year drop off, basically. 2024 was a high year as far as losses. We had a loss ratio of 161 compared to just like 100. Just because we had more police injuries and surgeries that year. And this current year, it's more average. I think it'll probably average out to 65 or 75% loss ratio. But the overall effect is I think our EMOD, our experience modification in work comp will go up overall this year. Last year, we had a pretty good drop because we had been able to keep it down, but there's some years where things will go up a little and things will go down. overall, our trend overall is going down due to, I think, better management of return to work, and we're trying to be proactive with our safety initiatives and mitigation projects, but I thought that's something I mentioned, even though I think it really shows up more on each individual department.
It does. So when we do the clerk's recommendation and update for most current salaries, we'll relook at what those rates are and throw them into each department.
Yeah, but they really affect almost by class, so it's hard for me to give you,
Yeah, we
don't have those estimates
the way
yet.
we have our salaries built in is we literally go in by position
Yeah.
and put in what the appropriate rate is.
Yeah,
So,
I just thought I'd mention it, even though I don't have numbers yet.
Can you enlighten me on property acquisition, going from 15 to 45? What,
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a new line item, I believe. Christie, did we add this in last year?
yeah, that's probably not the appropriate line item,
But
but you can explain what it's for.
yeah, so our multi-lines insurance carrier, iCrimp, they used to give us rate increases, even on our newly acquired property. That would be anything from a truck to a new facility coming online. They would usually do those annually. They've adjusted that to do that quarterly. And we really only found out about that mid-year last year. And so basically, for every 5 million in new assets you get, they will they now will bill you the additional on a quarterly basis. So we've had to add a little bit of a buffer in there essentially for new assets coming online. Now, if it was a private insurance company, they would charge you immediately. So we're still given more leeway in when we're charged for new assets to insure with iCrimp versus a private commercial policy. But we have to add those units in there should we have more assets coming online that trigger another $5 million in assets insured.
So for
talking
example,
equipment?
well,
It could be really anything on our
Grader or-
asset schedule.
so what happened, it nets out adds and reductions, but like, say we build the scale house next year and it's
Yeah.
gonna be done in January. We have to add that on in January. They'll reassess it at the end of March and then send us a bill.
So any of our purchases, capital improvements, if,
Anything we add to insurance,
yeah, okay.
less the deductions, is how they'll assess that dollar amount.
And we could be seeing those mid-year, whereas before we'd almost really have a feel for it at the annual budgeting time. But now where they're making quarterly adjustments, potentially we have to,
So
So,
Matthew has gone in and put an estimate of, he thinks if we have 15 million in ads, we'll at least have that dollar amount covered.
it's like the Youth Development Center, it's like the
Yes.
building we have in
Basically,
Downey.
all of the ARPA
all of
projects
those-
and everything else we
All of
did.
that is, well, even out of jail, all of that stuff.
Yes,
That's gotta be, we just increased our assets big time the
exactly.
last couple of years.
Now, the overall renewal price came in under 3%. I think it was around 2.2%. I put that increase into there, which actually isn't too bad for property and casualty. We had a much larger increase a couple of years ago when I first came here, I think of close to 20%, so that's actually not bad.
one quick note on that 45,000, it's gonna be budgeted, but if we don't need it, it obviously won't be spent, so it'll just build to reserves and potentially roll over to the next year. But while we're looking at some of these big projects, we definitely need to have that in here.
Well, yeah, we got a
So-
lot of investments in those buildings.
Yeah, so,
Health insurance next?
Yeah.
Talk about that. And Ernie, I've been,
real quick for the board is page 87. 88. And you'll look under, at the bottom of the page, it'll say trust, it's the health insurance trust.
Okay.
so, and Ernie, I appreciate you warning everyone, or Commissioner Moser, I'm sorry, that you've been warning everybody.
It is his name.
I've been Ernie a long time.
But I put in an estimate, we've typically budgeted 9 million each year for claims. I believe we've gone over that the last couple of years. And just based on our projections right now, I mean, currently for this year, we've incurred and paid about 7.95 million in claims. We've gotten about 1.1 million insurance back in stop loss for our large claims. So currently, we're at around 6.8 million in claims. Trending will be over 9 million again. And if we have large claims continue or other large claims, that could easily grow to 9.5 or 10. I really think we're past the days of budgeting just for 9. The other thing is in talking to our agent, and I just touched base with him again today, the reinsurance market is challenging right now. And just to clarify, for self-insured plans, often a lot of times we'll buy, and as we do, we'll buy reinsurance to protect us against large claims. So the one quote, and they are looking at different options this year, the one quote they've gotten this year, I think the challenge is the reinsurance company we used before is no longer, they're estimating that our attachment point would be around 300 or 400,000, which that means that's when they'll start chipping in to pay. Whereas before, I think it was 125 or 200.
125.
Yeah, 125. And so just if you were to take the large claims from this year and apply that new standard, I had this written down somewhere.
I guesstimated it at about $1 million. Is that right?
Well, if you were to do the difference, I mean,
I did it based on 400,000 stop loss.
yeah. I estimated between 800, or 900,000 and $1 million, yeah, additionally
Already
each
there.
year. So it's not just that, now we have had a larger claims year this year than last year. So that affects us in two ways. Obviously, number one, through our claims, them being larger. But secondly, for our renewal, it increased the administrative cost associated with that because that will increase your reinsurance cost the next year. So if you look at the next line item down, the admin fees, now that does include our third-party administrator fees, but a large chunk of that is your reinsurance fees. And so it almost has a twofold effect. And so Ernie, I know you've been telling 15%, but I actually budgeted in at 30% on the admin fees, just in case. I mean, because again, we're only getting estimates right now. We don't have the full numbers back. It could be 20%, it could be 25%. Hopefully it's 15%, but on the admin fee side, I put in 30%. Maybe that's too conservative, but.
Well, the positive of to over budgeting is we'll build reserves where we've been using some reserves. So I'd rather estimate on it if we can afford it. That's the only thing that'll happen is if we can't afford it, then we'll have to try and tighten it up a little bit. But it doesn't hurt to over budget because again, we can build reserves. So for those anomaly years.
I did talk to our agent today and encouraged him that we would like those quotes and be able to make those decisions sooner than later, which he's aware of, so I'll keep pestering with that so that we can hopefully get you those estimates before clerk's recommendations. They've only gotten one quote back yet. I called today to see if they had gotten any others back yet. They have not. But I told them we needed to try to get that information sooner than later so that we can make a decision. So, yeah, but that's why I've recommended a higher amount on claims and on the admin fees associated with it. Any questions for me in that area? Because I know that's a big change and a big adjustment.
Just to wait and see, right?
Yeah, is there anything that we can proactively do to help our employees understand, here again, like these catastrophic claims, I mean, we want them to be healthy. We want them to take ownership in some of this. I don't know whether there's ever any incentives or whatever it is, but we need to actually share the responsibility of these rising costs with those who are incurring them. Be healthy, do what you should. Is there anything pro-health that we can do that we're not already doing and encouraging them to either not just go do frivolous claims or, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if there's
and that's a good question. I think there's always things that we can look at. With a month left, I don't think there's much that we can do at this point. But we could. I mean, if I were in private industry, we would always be looking at plan design. Now, where we are with a joint powers plan, where we pool together with other counties, that's a bonus for us because we get to share risk with them. But it kind of ties our hands a little bit on how much we can mess with that plan design. The other challenge is, and this has nothing to do with the gym plan per se, it's just that it's a grandfathered plan, and there's only so many changes you can make to a grandfathered plan. So there's a few ways that we benefit from being combined with those other counties in this joint plan, but there's some planning flexibility as far as what we can do, assuming that we want to stay with the gym plan. Now, we could look at, I think the clerk and I have discussed, updating COBRA rates to retirees. We currently have 5 people on COBRA and 22 retirees. I think that's something that we could look at.
COBRA rates haven't gone up in 20 years.
Well, and I think we need to address that with the gym plan, because really, they should be adjusted every year. Because, and as I've been doing research, we really shouldn't decrease to keep it as a grandfather plan, we shouldn't be decreasing our employer contribution rate by more than 5%, right? But the COBRA rate is always 100% on the person using it. It should be 102% of premiums. That's what the law technically allows. So if it hasn't been adjusted, it's because our COBRA administrator has not been adjusting it. And we just need to encourage them to do so, which I would like to do. Now, granted, we have hundreds of people on the plan. This is only 25-ish. It's not going to sway costs as much as we would like, I'm sure. But in general, I think we've just got to remind them that needs to be updated every year. And it doesn't really mean that we're changing our contributions. It just means that the COBRA administrator, who is mutual insurance in the gym plan, they need to pass that on to those people who are participating in it.
And how much can we increase the employee's contribution each year to not mess with our
So
grandfather?
it's not on the employee side for ACA, the Affordable Care Act and grandfathering, it's 5% on our side. Okay. So now as far as, there's other things we could look at as far as plan design, like you could look at deductibles. Right now we have pretty low deductibles at 500 individual and 1,000 per family. And those can change a little bit more because they can track with medical inflation since 2010 when all of this was enacted. So you could make larger changes there, but again, what I haven't got a clear answer yet is if all the counties have to agree to that, or if we can just kind of go off on our own plan documents, which I don't know if we can.
I believe we can go on our own,
Yeah.
my understanding.
Yeah, so we could look at that if the commission wants me to, again, with, less than a month left before clerk's recommendation. That might be something that we would look at. And then there's other things you can look at as well. You can look at, do we also add in a high deductible plan that costs the employee less but costs the employer less? To try to encourage people that maybe don't use the health benefit as much. A lot of times you'll encourage younger participants that don't have as many health insurance needs. Some of them might want to go onto a different plan that doesn't cost as much. But that, again, is something that's more of like a year-long project to look at. It's not something I would recommend we try
Less than what we are.
Yeah.
It is, unless we were to look at adjusting the current premium rates to, but again, that really couldn't be more than a 5% change on our sharing part of it.
Well, it looks to me like there's 2 or 3 options. Maybe none of them's good, but one of them is a higher employee cost, a higher deductible, individual and whatever. And those, I think we need to explore, because at some point, do they want a COLA or do they want to self-assess their own risks? If I'm willing to take, instead of a $500 deductible, I'll go to 1,000, but what would I get in return? If I continue to take my own risk on myself, you do that with your car insurance. What are you comfortable to, do I want a $500 deductible, 1,000? When you buy insurance, you are actually assessing your own ability to take on some of that risk yourself. Am I a good driver? I just wonder if there's something we can look at on the health side that puts some of that responsibility and ownership back on all our employees and say, this is a good insurance, but don't overuse it. Don't, or, you know, whatever it is. Maybe a higher deductible. Maybe I'm better off to spend that, you know, maybe a 500 to a 750. I don't know what those options are, but man, we just can't be held hostage just by insurance rates out there without at least looking at some of our other options.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Now,
mean, individually, I would be doing that myself. If your car insurance is going out of berserk, your homeowners, I would be wanting to take some of that risks on to keep my price down.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether there's something we could do.
And I think we also need to couple that as well with, you know, maybe employee sentiment towards that. I mean, it's a very popular benefit, I'll have to say that. It attracts people here, it keeps people here, and even the ones that go, when I do their exit interviews, they say that's the one thing that made them think about not leaving. And I know we've been able to attract people from similar type positions and other government roles because of our health plan. I think it's definitely a huge retention piece for us, so I think if we kind of couple that. But yeah, I mean, if the commission in general would like me to look at, hey, what could be cost sharing options moving forward to maybe look at that share, and if it's too much of a pain point or isn't it, like we can look into that. With just a few weeks left, again, I think it might be past that time for this year.
And one of the ongoing things, and you're aware of this, is when we're trying to hire people in here.
Absolutely.
Most of them are saying, we have to compete, we have to be at market. Okay, we've done our due diligence in trying to get people to market. So what's the secondary question that everybody wants? Well, what's the benefits? I think we just have to look at all of that. I think the sheriff mentioned that they're fully staffed because we're at market and we have good benefits. Then we need to expound on that and say, that's why we have this. We are at market, we are doing all that, but at some point, maybe there won't be COLAs, or maybe there won't be this, but look at the benefits of what we already have. And you're on top of that with your exit interviews and your hiring, what people are looking at. I just think we can't just say, well, it is what it is. We need to explore those kind of things and see if we have some other options over the next year.
Sure.
We may not can do it now, but geez, I'm always looking underneath the floor mat to see if there's something else that we could think about or whatever it is, so.
And we can also look at trying to develop total compensation reports. I know from listening on a few other sessions that you've kind of talked about, well, how do we express that communication piece to the employees? And usually that's done through total compensation reports, but those take a little bit of time to build or to find the right program or the right way to convey that. But usually you can get that summarized in one sheet for people, but it just takes a little bit of work and
I
get those
think
put
over the
together.
next, I think that would be a good thing to at least work on,
Absolutely.
so. Anything else?
So many good things to work on.
Yeah.
There's enough time in the
Never
day.
ending for
Yeah.
Matthew.
Anything else?
No, unless you have any other questions for me.
No, we know where you live, or at least
Absolutely.
where
You're
you
always welcome.
reside during the daytime, so. Anybody else have anything else? If not, we will stand adjourned.